the institution of slavery created a crippling distortion of human relationships where people on one side were made to perform the role of subservience and to sublimate whatever innate talents or intelligence they might have had. They had to suppress their grief over the loss of children or spouses whose bodies had not died, but in a way had died because they had been torn from them, never to be seen again, and at the hands of the very people they were forced to depend upon for their very breath. That makes me really sad. All of it makes me really sad, but that thought of one, being in a situation that you cannot do anything about, you can't defend yourself, you can't run away. What they're doing to you is protected by law. And you have no idea where your family is. You don't know where your children are. You don't know if they're alive or dead. That makes me sick to my stomach. The reward for all this being that they might not be whipped that day, or their remaining son or daughter might not be taken from them this time. On the other side, the dominant caste lived under the illusion of an innate superiority over all other groups of humans, told themselves that the people they forced to work for up to 18 hours without the pay that anyone had a right to expect were not, in fact, people, but beasts of the field, childlike creatures, not men, not women, that the performance of servility that they had been flogged out of them arose from genuine respect and admiration for their innate glory. It's just a bunch of psychological abuse, and it's mind-blowing. Of course, I knew that all of this happened as far as slavery goes. But the way that this book puts it is very easy to visualize and to feel, and you get a better understanding of what actually happened, and you're able to put yourself in the shoes of those who were actually enslaved at that time, which is why it makes me really just uncomfortable in general and sad. It's been hard getting through this book, to be honest with you, because of how intense it is and how honest it is. It is almost too honest in the best way, because this is reality. This is what actually happened. And as sad as it is to read, I think that it's necessary in order to understand how we got to this point, because we're not in a good place, and it all stems from something. There's a root cause of the turmoil that we're experiencing present day. These disfigured relationships were handed down through the generations. The people whose ancestors had put them atop the hierarchy grew accustomed to the unearned difference from the subjugated group and came to expect it. That explains a lot. They told themselves that the people beneath them did not feel pain or heartache, were debased machines that only looked human, and upon whom one could inflict any atrocity. The people who told themselves these things were telling lies to themselves. Their lives were to some degree a lie, and in dehumanizing these people whom they regarded as beasts of the field, they dehumanized themselves. Americans today have inherited these distorted rules of engagement, whether or not their families had enslaved people or had even been in the U.S. Slavery built the man-made chasm between blacks and whites that forces the middle caste of Asians, Latinos, indigenous people, and new immigrants of African descent to navigate within what began as a bipolar hierarchy. What is most frustrating, in my opinion, is that There were some people that were viewed as superior to others because of something they did not choose. And the people that were viewed as inferior to those people were inferior because of something they did not choose. And I think that that's why a lot of this doesn't make any sense to me. And the mindset itself doesn't really make sense to me, but I'm also not someone who ever tries to inflict harm on anyone else or thinks that I'm superior to anyone else. I just think that I am myself. And so when you have a mindset like mine, which I think a lot of people do have, some people don't, it's hard to put yourself in the shoes of someone who could commit such terrible crimes and inflict so much violence on people who have done nothing to them and have done nothing at all except be born with darker skin, which is something they didn't choose. I don't know. Everyone else is living their life, you know? Everyone else is doing the best that they can, making it work, trying to make the best of their situations. And then you have these people who view themselves as superior, as if they can just do whatever they want and treat others however they want, and they're entitled to money and higher positions without having done any work and all of these things. It's no one else's job to fix that mindset but you. It's no one else's job to wake up and realize that you are just like me. You did not choose to be born the way you are. I did not choose to be born the way that I am. We just kind of all appeared here in these bodies. So for you to take on all of these teachings and ideologies that you are better than me, it's kind of weak-minded in my opinion. You don't have your own thoughts, because how does it make sense? How is it that you believe that you are better than someone else because of the way that you look? It just does. You're canceling out any abilities, skills, all of it. You're canceling out everything except for the way that you physically look. Doesn't make sense.